Number 7, Connor Evans. Number 9, Chris Hatfield. Number 11, Blake Archbold. Number 12, Cooper Boswell. Number 18, Buck Farling. And number 44, Musa Kamara. On the bench from Wales today, Dylan Buston, Aaron Niankuru, Ryan Blackburn, Paul Shearwally, Keelan Law, Ashton Lang and Jack Butler. And of course the Wales are coached by Hugh Gallants.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. It's the Northern New South Wales State Cup final, and this one's going to have a little bit of everything. Two proud clubs, a trophy on the line, 3 league points up for grabs, and 2 squads fresh off midweek trips in the Australia Cup round of 32. Western Bears, they went down 2-0 to Heidelberg United But their crew are full of praise for the effort. They've come home hungry and they know the minor premiership's out of reach, so the focus is firmly on silverware here today. Meanwhile, Cooks Hill United have made history. Became just the third Northern New South Wales side to reach the round of 16, edging Adelaide Croatia Raiders 3-2 in a thriller. They have paid a price though. They've got players battling illness and injury. Both clubs have had to make compromises to get this game played, and this one will double up as their rescheduled round 14 league match. There's no settling for points here. There's no hedging of bets, though, even with it being a catch-up game. There's silverware to be won. I'm Chris McPherson. Alongside me is Matt Butner. And, Matt, this is the kind of contest that gets football fans all fired up.
That is right, Chris. Welcome to finals football. And the sun has come out after the earlier game today, where we saw Crowders Bay win 2-0 over the Storm in the Community Plate final. This is the grandstand. This is the final that we've been waiting for. Both sides coming off Australia Cup football. Both teams having a very successful run in that competition and in the league as well. Cooks Hill still alive in finals football. Western Bears sitting third and pretty at the moment on the league. This is going to be an enthralling game. Both sides hungry for 3 points, Chris.
They certainly are. It's going to be an interesting one. It's Cooks Hill with their momentum up against Western's grit and history. Buttes with so much emotion on the line and fatigue in play. What do you think is going to be the key to getting not just 3 points, but some silverware here today?
Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting, Chris. We've broken it down previously about the games these two sides have running into the end of the season, and they've got 6 games in 3 weeks, I believe. It's a really tough schedule. It's going to be tough on the bodies, and there's no doubt that you want to keep the ball rather than chase it. So I think whoever dominates the field possession today is probably most likely going to run away with this one. I'd have to say Western Bears in the form that they've been in this year. For me, I'd say they're the favourites going into this one today.
Can certainly understand leaning that way. Cooks Hill, by virtue of the fact that they won their final State Cup match, the semi-final, when they beat Broadmeadow in regular time. They are classed as a home team, hence we see Western in green. We'll take a quick run through the 2 starting 11s. If you want to start with Western, Matt Butner.
Western Bears, number 1 in goals. Girel Rubok, number 2. Brock Beveridge, number 3. Mana Iwasaki, number 4. Dominic Archbold, 6, and captain Chris Hurls. 7, Connor Evans. 9, Christopher Hatfield. 11, Blake Archbold. 12, Cooper Buswell. 18, Burke Farling. Number 44, Musa Kamara.
And for Cooks Hill United on the ball at the moment, defensively broken up there nicely by Connor Evans. In goals, number 1, Daniel Eisenhower. 2 is Jai Bailey. 3, Alex Hilton. 5, Daniel Clemens. 6, Mitch Dobson. 10, Liam Wilson. 11, Jamila Oko. 16, Declan Hughes. 20, Zach Waddle. 29, Zach Luck. And 30, Joel Clissold. As they range down the right with Jai Bailey. They are, of course, coached by Chris Zoricic. And you talked about it before, 6 games. I think technically it'll make 7 now for Cooks Hill, because they've got another game to play with the round of 16.
Well, that's right, Chris. And it was a great result for Cooks Hill, beating Adelaide Croatia 3-2 in the Cup, and they're creating history for the club as well.
It's crazy to think it's only a couple of years ago they're a League One side. You know, this is a club that's got history that's, you know, fairly recent in terms of, I think they were established in the 90s. You know, they've then gone on a great run to get themselves to a point of moving up into Northern League and then now the NPL, and they're a fixture now in the NPL over recent years. And I think this represents somewhere around their 5th season in the NPL, and yeah, it's quite a story. The interesting thing, as we said, though, is Western are almost irrespective of other results, locked into 3rd in the league. So some silverware here would be nice. But for Cooks Hill, if they can get some wins, they can make finals. If they stack up too many losses, though, they could find themselves in the playoffs for promotion relegation. Unlikely, but possible. So lots of permutations, lots of football, that's for sure, as it's prodded forward there. Now the ball worked across.
Iwasaki with a good switch out there to Dom Archbold. He's been a live wire all season for Western Bears, getting up that left flank. Expect that to be a feature of his game again today.
The spice that the 2 Archbolds inject into this team when they get going and when they start combining too is, it's one of those things you watch when you see some brothers play together and combine and these sorts of things. It just seems to take things to the next level. There's always that unspoken sort of connection, and they're both live wires, as you said, and they can really pick a team apart.
Yeah, you're right about that, Chris, and I had the privilege to play and train with both boys, and great lads, great footballers, and I guess the danger for Cooks Hill today, they're on either side of the field, so there's no simple answer for Cooks Hill and their defensive duties today.
No, certainly not. Waddle doing well there, creating the overlap down. Ocko now feeds it in, but there was no one coming through in that middle lane. He had the Kiwi and Clissold wide, but couldn't find him. One of the dangers that always exists for any team coming up against Western is that man who just got a touch before the ball deflected off Cooks Hill and went out, in Chris Hurley, and the balls that he can use on the diagonal, switching the ball forward. We saw it in that in the plate final. We had Callum Garbutt, who was penetrating balls over the top and switching across on those diagonal balls, and Chris Hurley is probably the best at that in this league.
I'd have to agree with you, Chris. It's definitely a feature of his game that has really helped Western Bears this season and the previous couple of seasons. His left foot, when he's got time on the ball, he'll look for that diagonal, that ball over the top to Hatfield up front, and those Archibalds going down either flank. It's just a matter of Cooks Hill trying to deny that opportunity for Chris Hurls.
Certainly is. Ball going all the way back to Eisenhower. He stood up tall on a couple of good opportunities down in Adelaide, and that's going to be the other interesting thing, right? These teams travelled back to Newcastle on Thursday after trips to Adelaide and Melbourne respectively. That's hard professional footballers, but when you're at this semi-professional level working day jobs as well, it's quite a workload.
Yeah, massive workload for both sides. And again, both teams had away fixtures, so take that into consideration. Plenty of football that's already been played, plenty of football to come. So managing bodies, minutes, and injuries as well, if there's any niggles going around, is going to be crucial today, because there is a lot of football to be played for both sides still.
There's a lot to be played. I think they're both up to something like their fourth game in 14 days as well. So it's certainly not getting any easier. But 90 minutes here, a bit of silverware might soothe a few aches and pains, that's for sure. As they work this across their back line now. Pushing forward. Dobson looks for Jamila Ocko there, and certainly looks a dangerous presence up front already. He's clearly the target man.
He's got a presence about him, Ocko, and they already found him once early in behind Chris Hurls. And I've had the privilege to call Western a couple of times this year. I love the football they play and the brand of football that Q Allen tries to adopt in this club. But one thing that has been vulnerable is when that man Chris Hurls starts to venture too high, it leaves a little bit of space where Ocko could venture into today and cause some problems.
Yeah, the defence, when it's organised and they stick to the plan, is so strong and hard to break down. And it's that structure, you know, they tend to have a really good piece there with Connor Evans, but, you know, sitting in there in that sort of sweeper role in front of them. But, again, it relies on them when Chris Hurley does range forward that Evans or someone else needs to drop back into that pocket, and if that communication isn't there, that's where they can fall apart. As we see a bit of tussle there. Liam Wilson gives away a foul.
Former Bear, of course, in Liam Wilson. Made the swap over to Cooks Hill, and he's had an outstanding season in the league, scoring a couple of pearlers in the black and white. He's going to be the danger man in the number 10 jersey today for Cooks Hill if he can get some good service.
So here's ball threaded forward here. Trying to find that run for Hatfield. They couldn't get it to stick. Nor could Cooks Hill get it to stick with the pass on the outside looking for Waddle, and it will be a throw-in on halfway for the Bears. If you're just tuning in now, it is Western in their away green kit, Cooks Hill in their black and white. Would have been very confusing if you're not quite sure, because obviously Western traditionally wearing their black and white as well. And Cooks Hill the home side, due to the way both sides progressed to this final. It's interesting to see how the momentum carries through. Again, such a momentous game and a big game for Cooks Hill. Last time they had one of those when they qualified for the round of 16 as Ocko all of a sudden through towards goal. Hurley just shepherds it for Roebuck. As I was saying, they crashed back to earth, Buttes, and up against Bell Swans, and Bell Swans picked them apart, so they'll be very cognizant of not being overawed by the momentum that they had. They work forward now. Musa Kamara feeds it through. Nice ball, just a touch heavy, and it'll trickle away for a goal kick. He's another one that can just sneak in behind, find some open lanes and feed some balls. He's quite quick. His agility is a real strength. Yeah,
that is for sure, Chris, and with that haircut as well. It would be pretty dangerous if I was coming up against him today.
Looks aerodynamic, mate. Air just runs through the corner, right?
That's right.
Evans just watching. Saki sends it down. Fox Hill feeding it in. That's a nice ball for Oko. Now fed back, but Waddell couldn't find the target. And there's the Energizer Bunny and Burke Farling picking it off. Early. Not for him to drive forward or lob it long. He drives and feeds it down the line, but no one there. So it's picked off by Hilton. Stands out with that striking blonde header.
Liam Wilson with some space on the right.
Looking for Clissold at the back post, just overcooks the angle a little.
He just scooted off the right foot there, unfortunately. Probably looked more like a shot than a cross from your view, but again, I just mentioned it earlier, it's just when Chris Hurls potentially gets up a little bit too much and leaves that space to exploit, which they've done so now once or twice, no damage done, but it is something to keep an eye on.
Certainly is. Roebuck playing it out from the back to Iwasaki. Kamara trying to create an option down the right flank here. Nothing presenting, so he goes back to the captain in Hurley. Driven with a bit much pace. That falls fortunately for Archbold. Feeds it into the box. Opportunity here. Beveridge tries to shoot. Here's Farling. What can he conjure? Dispossessed. Declan Hughes feeds it forward, looking for Oko. Hurley loses his footing. Wilson sliding in. Down the line again. Iwasaki loses his footing. Going for the low header. Archbold tracks back, but Oko beats him as well. Crosses it. Clissold's there. Can he get a shot away? Drops it off for Wilson. Chip over the top. Creative, but you wonder, should they have pulled the trigger there? Cooks Hill. Hurley brings it down. Clissold now pulls the trigger. And skewed wide. Joe Roebuck is not going to take any chances with letting it cross the byline and plays it out to Musa Kamara.
Bit of end-to-end football already. Enticing stuff from both sides. We already talked about the weight of this game. Of course, there's silverware, and then the addition of 3 points available as well as a league game. Just makes it a massive game for both clubs coming off the back of that Australia Cup.
Certainly does. Cooks Hill know that they need 3 points. The silverware would be nice as well. Western probably not as reliant on the points, but would love to break what has been a number of years without a major trophy for their club.
Iwasaki just overcooking that one for Musa, and he's been a good introduction to Western Bears this year as well, Chris. He's been very solid at the back. I've liked what I've seen with him on and off the ball.
Iwasaki, a solid defender, but a bit like Hurley, can go forward as well. So you see them, you look at them against some of those other top teams, maybe like an Edgeworth, who have got 2 out-and-out, strong, physical, big centre-backs. They've got players that play across his back line that can go forwards as well. You see some good hustle there. The ball kept in. Well done, Dom Archbold. And then after the fact, his former clubmate decided to come in for a clip.
Yeah, it's going to be a good contest on that far side as well. Both young fullbacks, Jai Bailey and Dom Archbold, both fullbacks coming through the Jets Academy as well. Both live wires, both want the ball at their feet. Keep an eye on that one.
Bailey's really, I feel like he's a bit of an underrated talent. He's been really strong in a couple of tough games that I have called for Cooks Hill this year, where they've been on the wrong end of scoreline. So he's one, I think, to watch as Brock Beveridge takes a shot, forces a save from Eisenhower. Beveridge won't be shy to pull the trigger.
Yeah, that's some really nice football in close quarters there, especially considering the field and its condition at the moment.
Just on that, as we see Daniel Eisenhower lose his footing as he kicks that downfield. He's a little chopped in the middle. It's why we played the plate finals on the synthetic inside here at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility, to make sure that we did have this field ready to go and not too damaged for this game, the main game of the day. Again, and congratulations to the Crowders Bay United Crabs getting the win in the community plate as Kamara gets free on the edge of the 18-yard box. Drifts wider, crosses it in, headed away calmly and composed by the defence. Western, though, they'll come again. Iwasaki to Kamara. Kamara just mistouched. Clissold looking to feed it forward for Ocko. He gets a touch against Hurley. Hurley gets the second touch and manages to get it back to Roebuck. Roebuck goes long. That's a big clearance. A good 60 metres on that. Now Archbold. Chipped forward, but Eisenhower will deal with it. Chris Zoricic up and about early here. True to character.
True to character. He also knows the weight of this game. Just questioning the referee early.
We'll give him credit. There was nothing in that you would think overstepped the line. He asked the question or proposed the solution, but once he realised he was getting a deaf ear, just moved on for now.
I think he's still asking the question, Chris.
I think he's doing that old trick, Butts, of asking the bloke next to him, but in the third person, in a tone and volume that the referee can hear. Oh, no, I wasn't talking to you, sir.
It's one out of the coaching book, that one.
Yeah, I've heard it, I've used it, I've done it. Now Wilson drives it into the back of Archbold. Seems to be a little battle developing between those two. Come together a couple of times already in the early exchanges. Bailey with the throw, the lofted throw looking for Wilson. Hurley's there, picks it off, and then Roebuck races out after Iwasaki. Shepherded Ocko away. Now here comes Iwasaki now, time and space. Ocko's going to try and shut it down. Lofted long.
Just off the bleach blonde hair there from Hilto. Cool, calm and collected.
Yeah, cool, calm and collected there. I'm not sure if he was cool, calm and collected when he lined up at the barber for that hairdo, though. Got to be some questions asked. Joel Clissold, Musa Kamara. That's a commanding challenge. Sent back by Bailey. Fed wide now, Beveridge. Overcooks that one, and that'll drift across. It'll be easily dealt with. No one chasing for Western. Infield, working around now. Hughes back. Dobson now passes it off. Hilton will have it. Now Wilson up against Kamara. Gets the early pass, but Saki. Nice work there, Hatfield, in close conditions. It's a forward, tries to feed in the cross. And Wilson again. It is real end-to-end football here between these two sides. Cooks Hill United in their black and white strip. Western in their less traditional green strip. I only found out the other day, Butts, that someone was filling me in that the origins of Western and their colours was a bunch of Geordie miners that settled up in, obviously, the coalfields with Western, and hence that's why they wear the black and white.
Wow.
Titan does hark back to, being Newcastle United fans, and they'd come over here, resettled, and decided to make themselves at home with a football club that wore the same colours.
How good.
It's a pretty cool little story.
That is really cool.
I love some of the history of these clubs. As we said, Cooks Hill's history much more recent and youthful, but undoubtedly, if they can get their first top-tier trophy, ball fed through there. Beautiful, calm defence there from Dobson. Buswell was almost through and on goal. Got some real marksmen up front when you look at Beveridge, Buswell, Hatfield as options for Western.
Yeah, all big boys as well.
Yeah, I think they Western would love some, maybe some set piece or even some long throw opportunities. Looked like there wasn't a whole lot in it, but it has been collected nonetheless on the ankle. Certainly no intent, I don't think.
Yeah, not much doing there. Clement just coming through the back, a little bit clumsy. Dom Archbold collected as well as the ball. And we mentioned it a couple of times in the previous game. Is this striking range, Chris?
Well, we decided everything in the attacking half when the cup's on the line is striking range, Butts, especially if you're right. Well, if I'm doing it realistically, it's got to be within about 3 inches of goal for striking range. But for you, mate, what you've been telling me off air, the prodigious boot of Matt Butner, is that right? Hey, you come from good kicking stock. You know, old man had a kicking game on him in the NRL. He'll love hearing that.
Over the black dot, though.
Not in general play. That one is a strike. Easy for Eisenhower. So you're doing a drive-by on your old man's general play kicking, just saying he's only a goal kicker. That was it. Or you're just saying he was just focused on getting over the crossbar.
Oh, that's right. Between the sticks, not
that's a great excuse for you, though. Like anything you overcook, if you do take a set piece at any point, you can just get there and go, oh, that must be Dad's genes just coming through. It went over the crossbar.
I've already used that one.
Yeah, I bet you have. Shot wide, rattles the side netting, but on the outside, not the inside. It was a very nervous group inhale there from the Western bench when that hit the side netting.
Yeah.
Iwasaki now. He's got Kamara in front. Early behind, but they did well just to block down the lanes there and shut him down from passing back to Hurley, which forced the turned over pass. Clissold now. Nice ball in. Wilson gets a touch on. I think it was intended for Ocko. Gives it to Waddell. Takes a strike. Blocked off. Evans cleans up. Beveridge comes out. Evans there again. Returns it to Beveridge. Hatfield was racing down the outside, but Bailey picked off the pass.
Yeah, crucial intervention there, and there's a quick breakaway unfolding for Western Bears. Hatfield just darting down the left flank. Jai Bailey intercepting that, and now finds himself on the ball for a throw-in.
I certainly think the opening exchange of this game have well and truly lived up to the occasion. This has been great football, end-to-end, lots in it. Both sides trying their luck. Not sitting there waiting for mistakes, despite the fact that they know fatigue's going to be a challenge as the game plays out.
Yeah, both sides playing with full confidence as well. Not scared to press, not scared to play their brand of football. We know the calibre of coaches for either club and what style they try to replicate or play.
See what I'm enjoying? Just the close proximity we've got to the two dugouts, watching the two very different personalities. Ocko heads that over the bar. I think he caught Hurley just maybe napping half a step. The very pensive Q Yellians over there, just taking it all in watching. And then you've got Chris Zoricic, who is probably going to hit his 10,000 step count just marching around his technical area.
Very, very different coaching styles.
Certainly is. Both very accomplished, though, in terms of what they've done, both at club football and in some of the representative and pathways. Zorro still working with Damien Zane with some of the junior boys. I think he might even be involved with the side your younger brother's playing in, mate.
Yeah, I think he's in and around that space still. I'm not sure he's tied to the hip with Zaney in terms of the first grade side, but definitely know he's involved in that space.
Two men that absolutely live and breathe and have done for a long time their football, that is for sure. We're quite blessed in Northern New South Wales with some of the coaches that we've got across the NPL and even the other leagues. Evans and Wilson go head-to-head now. Clissold. Wilson goes over the outstretched boot of Evans. Zoricic appeals for a free kick, none being given. Sent down the line. Kamara picks it off. Waddell gets a boot to the ball. Comes back to Iwasaki. Prods it forward. Hughes for Ocko. I was going to say he's not only confused the defender there, he's managed to confuse himself. That's a move and a half. His touch was so good, he didn't even know where he'd left it.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. He's looking dangerous. The contributions he's had thus far, he's finding himself in some really good spaces in between the two centre-backs.
The two centre-backs having a bit of trouble tracking and keeping him. He looks athletic, doesn't he, when he gets going, he gets into full stride, and even that touch there, I feel as he almost looks like he's just still working himself out a little bit with his football, which is probably ominous as he comes over the next couple of years. I'm sure Cooks will love to hang on to him for a while to come.
He looks like a promising player.
Certainly does. I mean, if you're keeping the likes of Iwasaki and Hurley on their toes, it's probably a good tick in the score sheet. A report card. They go back to go forwards here. Bailey and headed forward. Driven. Now Beveridge looking to feed it out for Kamara. Picked off by the defence, and that's just going to trickle away over the sideline. And Iwasaki will come back for the throw. Well dealt with there by Waddell. He's been everywhere. He's on the right edge to start with. He's swung over. He's getting through plenty of miles and metres. Kamara trying it on with the fourth official. It just suggested that it was on the defensive side of halfway, and also suggested maybe it was significantly further down. As Buswell feeds it forward, Farling throws himself into the challenge, headed on from Clissold. Iwasaki returns. Hatfield gets up, gets a leg to it, but can't control it. And Hatfield gets another touch. It stays infield from Waddell. Hughes moving it around now. Evans does well to take it away. Buswell feeds the ball through, looking for Beveridge. It's going to be a little bit too quick for the big man up front.
Yeah, just runs away from that man. He's been good this year for Western Bears, hasn't he? It's been really positive.
Beveridge he's been interesting. He's sort of been at different points coming off the bench as an impact player. Obviously the workload and pieces as well, though, is a constant juggling act, especially at the moment. We had teams that didn't play a game for 5 or 6 weeks after Easter, and then now they're playing 5 or 6 games in 19 days, some of these teams. So been a bit of a bizarre season. The great thing is that we're getting everything caught up, and we're heading towards what's going to be absolutely amazing final series. That one's chipped forward. It wasn't really a shot. I think it was an endeavoured through ball. Eisenhower deals with it. And certainly when you look at the men's and women's competitions, the final series promised so much in the NPL this season.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting finals campaign, no doubt. I mean, it always is, Chris, but as we are getting closer and closer to finals football, it's such a good chase for B-League football. We've got a massive game tomorrow in the men's. I know you're covering a game for the women's as well, which is quite crucial.
Yeah, there's a couple of good games tomorrow that'll be commentated. All the games obviously live and free on Northern New South Wales Football. As you're saying, though, that Broadmeadow Edgeworth's going to be huge. The great thing is, though, there's big games every weekend of footy, some of the midweek games as well. You're going to be able to catch them all here on Northern New South Wales Football's YouTube channel. Then that goes into the final series for the men and the women, the playoffs and relegation games as well. And then once that's all done and you think football, wow, what a season it's been, we'll then go into the Northern New South Wales men's and women's select playing the Jets. Then you get a week or two's breather, and then we go into the regional Super League finals up at Scully Park in Tamworth to just put an exclamation point on the season. Well, they say too much football's never enough, and then once that wraps up, I think it's the week after that, the Jets kick off.
Yep.
Football, it's a 12-month-a-year sport. Obviously, the B-League will be kicking off at a similar time, which we'll have some representation in, and that's to be determined, as you say. So we are absolutely blessed with the amount of football we're getting now. Australia Cup still trickling along in there too with the Newcastle Jets, and obviously Cooks Hill still in it as well. So
yeah, of course.
What a time to be a football fan. Oh, spilled across the face. Little mistake from Eisenhower, but no one can capitalise for Western. They're spilling away back to goal. Farling now takes a strike from range over the crossbar. Never really threatened. Right idea. Execution not quite on target.
Yeah, I agree. Just shuffled that onto his right foot and won that half a yard, and then it was just the execution. And got away from him there, and something out of nothing there. Beveridge just a little half chance near post, and the ball just trickled along almost the goal line there, and no one there to tap it home.
So that looked like it might have unintentionally come off the forearm of Chris Hatfield. And he tried to do the right thing and play the whistle, but it was pretty clear, and the referee again did a great job picking that up. I'll tell you what, if you're sitting at home thinking that today's a brisk winter's day, I can tell you out here on this field with his sun beaming down across us, and I'll be setting sort of to the back corner of the field, it is warm out there for these players. It's warm here for us in commentary. As Western clear this away, the temperature's certainly picked up a few degrees, especially in that direct sun, Buttes.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's definitely cleared up these last couple of hours. We saw the dark and gloomy scenes in our first game today, and it's definitely cleared up now, which is great. Good conditions for football.
I thought we were a short price to get wet, and this is absolutely beautiful. I'm sure the boys will be sweating it out there, especially on short turnarounds on a softer pitch. I mean, it's still in good condition, 90% of the field. There's a few mud patches, especially around where the heavy traffic is in the middle. We've seen a couple of slips there early, but again, when you're playing lots of games, I think these gents would be rather the bit of slip on some mud rather than the high impact of playing on the synthetic inside. So he clears it long. Beveridge chests it down. Farling comes racing through in not the most conventional of style, but did win out. It's like the game before, it's been some really quality football both ways. As soon as I say that, Wilson comes in with a pretty clumsy tackle. I don't know if that's the commentator's curse or not, but just talking about how good we're going, and then that comes. But anyway, like, he's certainly not a player that's going to leave you dying wondering, is Liam Wilson?
No, that's for sure. He'll be in the game for 90 minutes, and he's got that number 10 on the back of his jersey for a reason. He's the man that's going to try and create things for Cooks Hill, and he's scored some amazing goals this year, actually.
Certainly has. He's got a fair boot on him when he winds up. And he's got, not just in terms of the venom he can put on it, but he can get the ball to talk a little bit as well. It'll be interesting to see if he can combine with the athleticism, as we said, of Occo. That could be a nice building combination for Cooks Hill over the next couple of weeks. And of course, without one of the men who scored on Wednesday night, Xavier Williams. As I said, injury and illness have taken its toll on this Cooks Hill side with a few forced changes. But they're certainly looking all the part of a State Cup finalist at the moment. It's a great clash so far. It is building.
It's a very deep and disciplined block from Cooks Hill at the moment. So Chris Hurls manages to keep that in. Nice little play here. Blake Archbold on the left.
Crosses it. Just a little too heavy. Half an hour gone here on the grass at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. No score yet. Both sides giving as good as they're taking. Fed down the line. Kamara gets the head forward. Thurston chips it infield, and it's lofted deep. Evans sets himself underneath it. And it's flicked over the line off the head of Hughes. Kamara. Evans and Kamara combining. Defence converging of Cooks Hill. They poke it forward. Iwasaki in a foot race with Occo. Gets a little nudge in the back.
A little bit silly from Occo there. Or maybe just intelligence from Iwasaki. Just looking for a little bit of contact and went over.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of smarts, as you say, but Occo got absolutely suckered into it, and that's probably the bit more experience of Iwasaki. As I said, I think Occo is one of those players, when you just look at him, it just looks like he's developing his game, but he's got a lot of the attributes that you want to see for a man who's going to play in that front third. Ball pushed out wide, looking for Archbold. Bailey's there. Bailey does well just to shepherd it across for a goal kick. I touched on that battle before. That one's going to be a key one and an interesting one. Two very athletic and hard-working wing-backs. Interesting to see. And Western do a little bit of this. We talked about it when we covered them against Edgeworth. They're wingers here, or edge midfielders, depending on where they're setting up. Switching sides, Buswell and Archbold now. We talked about it before. You said the Archbolds are on opposite sides. Now they're back there, and it's almost like that's a little bit of a strategy from Q, just to, I guess, keep the defensive midfielders honest as well, because you've got to be tracking not only back against your man, but then all of a sudden you're looking up and you hang on, where's he gone? No, I've got a different man now.
Yeah, I agree.
A little bit of mental games.
Yeah, I think Western Bears, with the player roster they have this year, have got the luxury to do so. They have talent all across the field, but especially in that front third area, they're not, positioned in one spot. They have that kind of free flow effect. I mean, what you'd say is Connor Evans is definitely that holding six. Even Buswell you see sometimes stepping up.
It's an interesting one. Well, we know that you're high on them. We did our run home show the other week on the Chris McPherson show. You tipped that Western were going to win the comp. They're going to win the grand final.
Yeah, I still stand by that. I think.
The confidence is eroding. Look, they've certainly got the team to do it.
No. I really think they will go to the grand final and then
It's about who turns up on the day at that point, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the backlog of games they have, and it's just like, look, if they can avoid injuries and play their football, I think they've got every chance.
Archbold for Archbold. Opportunity here. There's the defence of Dobson. Eisenhower gets up to it. There's that combination we talked about, the two brothers. It was slick.
It was slick.
Bailey's going to have his work cut out for him on that right side of defence. Roebuck takes that.
The Western Bears the last 5-10 minutes or so, probably just enjoying a better spell of possession. Happy to play out from the back, work it around Occo, the number 9 for Cooks.
Wasn't a lot in that, a lot of irate reaction. Hatfield gets a yellow card. I think it was just careless more than it was reckless. He just kind of blind turned with the foot out and clipped Hughes who was coming through. Straight to apologise and help him back to his feet. Takes a yellow card, shakes his head and moves on. Eisenhower will take the free kick, drives it long for Clissold. Kamara, strong header on that. And Clissold with the throw. Luck trying to present as a near option. He's going to have to wind up here though, the Kiwi. Wilson presents short. Clissold down, looking for Wilson inside the byline and couldn't control the pass. It pushes across the sideline. Kamara with the throw deep in defensive territory. And Cooks will try and press and close here. Force the mistake. Kamara goes long looking for Beveridge. Falls well short of him. A few more Weet-Bix for Musa Kamara if he's going to have to take the long throws. Lofted forward. Alex Hilton doing us all a favour with that hair. It's easy to spot, that's for sure. Standout features are always handy as a commentator, Bukes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. You can't miss that one today, Hilton. There he is again, in and amongst the action.
So some of the Adelaide Croatia fans in some online forums and the like during the game the other night, a few of the live watchers were comparing him to a certain Detroit-born rapper. I'll let you figure that out. Giving him a fair bit of a razzing, which was quite funny when that comes. And you know, when you do that to your hair, you probably expect that you're going to get something like that.
I agree. You have to.
Talking to some people that know him from around football said he won't mind the attention. He'll have a good laugh with that, so that's good to know. Farling, he's been a little quiet today. They've been really trying to work around Cooks Hill more than through, and sort of negated his use as much. Ordering traffic now. Now he's got some space. Farling feeds the ball forward to Beveridge, gets the ball returned. Goes wide looking for Archbold, but Bailey picks it off for Occo. Occo v Hurley, 1v1. Evans is going to try and turn the numbers advantage into Western's favour. I think that was intended for Clissold, but kind of bisected he and Wilson. Kamara, he's got space in front, but he's looking back. Going back to their midfield general in Farling. Hatfield now.
No rushed instructions from assistant Nathan Morris. Just going back to their trusting possession-based football that they're so good at, Western. Just going to keep shifting it left to right.
Here goes the Archbold trying to combine again. Beveridge involved. Hilton breaks it up. Feeds it down the line. Waddell does well to keep it in, but turns it over. Evans now. Feeding the ball out in front of Beveridge. Kamara sneaking at the back post. Can he get to it? No, Eisenhower takes it calmly in two hands. Goes wide looking for Clissold. Iwasaki gets headed to it. Occo's there sneaking into the backfield. Thinks about winding up, realises he's got no one to cross to, takes on Farling. Farling does well to win out, maintain possession. He's not happy with the end result. Asks for a foul from the referee, and the referee shows him a donut. Absolutely nothing to be had. Luck now. Luck just overcooks it there for Clements. Clements recovers, feeds it on to Bailey. Bailey cuts back infield. Deflected off the body of the player, was it? Clissold thinks about winding up. Just had to take an extra touch, I think. As Roebuck makes a little slip there. I think if Clissold had been able to take that on his second touch rather than his third, he might have been quite a chance of having an open side on goal.
Yeah, I have to say I agree there. Just thought he took a little bit too long with that one. Looks like they're trying to play a quick short ball. So they elect not to. Liam Wilson will set it up. But yeah, I thought potentially hitting that first time could have even been a good option as well for Clissold. Elected not to, and let's see if Liam Wilson can produce a good ball.
Curls it in towards the back post, headed away by Iwasaki. He's there again, prodded through. Hughes on target, but there's a wall of green there. Waddell trying to pop it over for Wilson. Farling.
Probably just projected that one a little bit too much, Waddell. Easily read.
Farling did well keeping his cool there under some extra attention from Liam Wilson. The referee ran over and just had a bit of a chat. No value in awarding a free kick there when it's already a goal kick. Just trying to get the boys to cool their engines a little. Hard though, a lot of passion out there today. Both clubs know what a momentous occasion it is for them.
Was a good chance there though on that second phase play. I think it was Hughes that just got his foot on the end of that one, a volley. Looked like it was goal bound.
Certainly directed in the right way. As I said, just a wall of green, and it shows when Western do defend well. It's so hard to break down, and it's why they're sitting third. It's why they're the only side to have beaten Edgeworth this season, which was only a couple of weeks ago. They've been in good form recently, have the Bears. They feed this forward. Archbold gets it in there. Beveridge, half a sniff, but Dobson breaks it down.
Left side a couple times for the Bears now. It's proved promising. Plenty of space to put in a delivery.
Certainly is. Archbold feeds it in looking for Buswell. Clements working. Partners with Hilton. Hilton drives it down, finds Farling. Thought he was going to wind up and take a shot from range there. He does in the end, but well off target. I think he might have been looking for some advantage from the referee, but the referee was giving him absolutely nothing on that. The final few minutes of this first half. Northern New South Wales Men's State Cup final. All on the line for these two sides. But if silverware's not enough to get you excited, there's also 3 points. Their catch-up game from, I believe, from memory, round 14. Due to the backlog of games, the 90 minutes of this game, just to be clear, will double as that. So if a side wins the cup in regulation time, it will be 3 points as well. If it's drawn at full time and we need to go to penalties to decide the cup, it will just be a share of the points, a point each. So extra momentum, extra meaning for this game for both these sides.
Well, you mentioned the weight about the points for either side. You'd have to say Western Bears are probably sitting pretty at third place and might look to finish that way. Cooks Hill, well, if you look at the live ladder, they actually need some wins if they want to knock on the door for finals football. If they lose a couple of games on the run, they could find themselves in a relegation battle potentially.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting piece, or they could get to a point where very quickly within 2 to 3 games there's absolutely, obviously we know they've got their round of 16 game, but in terms of Northern New South Wales football, there'll be nothing on the line. They'll just be sort of treading water, which is, again, not an ideal place to be with a few games to go. So lots happening for them, lots to pick apart when you look at it. As you say, that ladder is quite congested for them. 1 or 2 results can very quickly make the difference between 5th or 6th. And as you say, 10th and 11th.
Yeah, very much so. I think Cooks Hill are a good enough side to obviously stay in the league this season. I think they've got enough talent. We
saw that win last week against Azuri, a side that obviously having some challenges of their own, but that puts them within 3 points of Azuri. They're only 4 points behind Maitland in 5th as well, so they'd fancy themselves a chance. But equally so, as we know, with 5 games to play, they're also only 7 points clear of Adamstown, who sit in that relegation playoffs position. We know that more than likely it looks like New Lambton now, with only 3 games to play, they need to win all 3 of those and have Adamstown lose all of their games from here to catch Adamstown. They can only pull level with Valentine and Bell Swans from here. So for New Lambton, a best case scenario basically from here is that they're going to be in a playoff for relegation. Worst case is they're going straight down, and a strike there from Farling, just too easy for Eisenhower, and goes straight on the counter. And in the Northern League 1, it looks like advantage Kahibra at the moment to come up, which would be great to see another side there. That'll create some nice local rivalry with Charlestown for sure. As Waddell now goes down the outside. Nice little ball through for Wilson, but the flag is up for offside.
A little bit unfortunate there. Zach Waddell done exceptionally well to hold up that play there and wait for support. It's with the early release from their keeper, Eisenhower. Playing a little bit more direct now, Cooks Hill. They probably had a little bit more possession at the start of the game, and you just have to say Western Bears have just gone to their ball possession style gameplay and just tighten the screws a little bit as they go wide now to Hatfield as he tries to progress one-on-one. Strike on his left boot. It's pretty tame.
They haven't really challenged Eisenhower a lot, have they? He's had a few saves to make, but most of them have been, I think, what you'd kindly describe as regulation.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Early splits the pair of Cooks Hill attackers. So when we talked about that sun, now that big cloud's come across, and we might be thankful for that as the sun sets, because it's starting to hit right in the eyes for not only us, but straight down the barrel of the camera as well for you at home.
Doesn't look like it's going to come out again.
That's not necessarily a bad thing at this stage, but as long as the precipitation that comes with some of those clouds doesn't find us, I'll be okay. Might need to try another layer back on at half time though. It's starting to cool down. The players will appreciate it though. Early up against Wilson here. Early, I'm not sure what the two of them are doing. Then they both appeal for fouls. And again, as the referees have done all season, if both players are holding on like that, then I'll let them go as long as they like. Iwasaki just blocks the lane, checks the man. It was almost ice hockey style, but he did well to get himself set and in position. Just 1 minute of added time to be played.
Oko just trying to touch and run around him, I think, and Iwasaki just stood his ground.
Just planted. It was, again, I think that's just that little bit of experience, getting himself set. You could see exactly what Oko was doing. He telegraphed it.
How's that for a touch from Buswell, showing his class. Hatfield with some space now.
Hatfield's going to cut in. Nice little back heel. Anything you can do, I'll throw my own magic tricks in the box. Nice little 1-2 here. Buswell tries to penetrate along the ground. Working well. Feeds it in the back for Archibald. He's done the same as Oko before. He's tricked himself.
Well, I think he just saw Buswell and Hatfield do a couple of tricks of his own and it didn't quite pull off.
Well, it's all level at the break, and you'd forgive both sides for showing a little bit of fatigue, but I tell you what, they've given it everything over the first 45. The intensity certainly hasn't dropped Buttes. It's been a cracking first 45, but tied up at 0-0. From what you've seen, do you think one of the sides is managing the occasion better, or do you think it's very much a split decision at this point?
Yeah, I'd say leaning more towards the split decision. I'd have to say Western Bears have probably had better opportunities, just lacking the execution in the final third. Definitely seen a couple of shots from them, just with not enough conviction. But it was a great half of football, and it's going to make for an exciting second half, Chris.
It certainly is. It's lived up to the occasion. The previous game, our community plate did the same, where Crowders Bay United ran out 2-0 winners over the Northern Storm. Here is all tied up at 0-0 in the State Cup final at the break. Chris McPherson and Matt Butner. We will take a short break, and we'll rejoin you with about 10 minutes' time with the second half of what promises to be an absolutely cracking finish to this State Cup final.
Vito Sports, complete sports solutions, badges and medals, Green Room Futures, Rio and Fruit Brothers. Please welcome back to the field both the teams for today's men's kickoff final, Cookstown United and Western Bears.
Welcome back to the second half of the Northern New South Wales State Cup final here at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. Out here on field 3 on the grass, watching the action play out, and it was a end-to-end tussle of a first half. Tied up at 0-0 at the break, Western and Cooks Hill. All on the line in this second half now. Silverware, but also an opportunity for 3 points, as this will also double as their round 14 catch-up fixture. Just waiting for the last of the players to get set, and Chris McPherson and Matthew Butten are bringing you all the action. And Buttes, we didn't get any goals, but we got some high-quality football in that first half. Yeah,
it's been a good standard. I think both teams understand the importance of this game from a league perspective, but also for some silverware, as you mentioned. It's been high standard, high quality, good energy. I'm excited to see how this game pans out.
Dom Archibald, beautiful ball through. Coming across, but the flag goes up. It must have been close.
Looked very close from here. And the Bears with positive intentions straight out of half-time. And I'm excited to see this battle that we were watching in the first half, Jai Bailey and young Dom Archibald. They're now on the near side. So keep your eye out for that one.
Interesting one. We'll see how that plays out. Eisenhower on the ball at the moment now. Slices under it, goes long. Archibald gets up to it and gets the head, and now Bailey will take the throw. Bailey goes long, looking for Ocko, who gets to the head to it. Evans brings it down. Archibald lobs it forward. Hilton gets a boot in. Burson underneath it. Sorry, Buswell underneath it. Now Archibald, Farling. Prodded forward by Declan Hughes. Kamara takes it away from Ocko, and now Evans rolls it out in front of Buswell. Farling screaming for it on the right side, but he goes to Archibald centrally. Kamara is pushed forward, under pressure from Clissold, and Wilson comes away. Can't control it though. Now Evans swings it wide. Early drives it. Liam Wilson just wears it at the last moment. Prodded forward, looking for the pace of Waddell. He gets to the outside. Can he find a teammate? Clissold's in the 18-yard box if he can hit the target. Numbers tracking back. He's going to take a strike. Hurley blocks it, and it spits away over the byline. Good work there from Waddell. He's caught in two minds, and the 18-yard box filled up really quickly, so he took a strike.
Yeah, he's no stranger to hitting a ball, Zach Waddell. Again, I've had the opportunity to train and play with him back on my Central Coast Mariners Academy days, and you give him half a chance, he's going to pull the trigger. It was a good opportunity down that right flank again, just a mispassed ball.
Lofted in, just floats in there in the end. Farling coming forward, they play it down. Winding up and taking a strike is Declan Hughes, but that one not nearly as close to target as his last hit.
No, not quite. But just getting back to that, Chris, again, broken down from Chris Hurls. Just a loose pass there usually nails that one with his left foot, and it's, just a quick transition moment from Cooks Hill in that space.
Certainly well spotted and well played by them. Hurley did well to recover it in the end and block the shot. And all's well that ended well. Iwasaki now back to Hurley.
Fullbacks for the Bears playing very high at the moment.
Comes with risk. As Farling tracking back now under pressure from Wilson. Not really phased. He's a very calm, composed influence in the midfield, Burke Farling. Evans now prods it forward. Archibald drops it back to Hatfield. Now Buswell. Archibald again. Feeding it into the box. Headed away. Evans. Chipping into the box, headed forward. Not completely dealt with. Chipped on again by Wilson. Archibald lobs it back the other way. Kamara is getting under it, but Luck gets ahead to it. Now Luck chasing down with Kamara in hot pursuit. Kamara keeps it inside the byline. Archibald a little play on back to Kamara. Thinks about the cross, feeds it on instead. Buswell who plays it off legs, and no, it'll be a goal kick. So across the byline before it came off the legs. Goal kick now, and they decide to play it out from the back. Both sides going toe to toe. Bailey feeds it down. Appeals there. That's deflected off the heels of Archibald and comes unstuck in the end. Now Waddell. Evans comes in. Clatters into him. Archibald free on the outside on the left. Tries to feed. Beveridge. Beveridge leaves it, and it's just swings past the right post.
A little bit of broken play there from both sides, and it just fell nicely for Dom Archibald. Sorry, Blake, that is. Number 11 here, and he just struck that with his left foot. Almost looked like it was a cross, maybe. Just got left by Beveridge, like you said, and just trickled just wide of the post.
I wonder if Beveridge might be thinking that back over, whether he should have just redirected that. I'm feeling he had the opportunity, but thought it might have been on target. And again, it's one of those could have, would have, should have moments. Hindsight's a much easier way to judge your actions. Archibald back infield. Evans chips it on. Beveridge gets a nudge in the back. Peel from Weston's bench. Waddell gets up for it. Clements. Wilson onto Clements again. Waddell making sure he stays onside. The flag stays down. Archibald tracking him. Working further. Crosses it into the box, the back post. Clissold over the crossbar. Right idea. Execution not far away.
Yeah, really positive play down the right side. Slick little move there from Liam Wilson. And it just allowed a little bit of space down here, Zach Waddell. And again, we just touched on it about 5 minutes ago, what he can offer up front. He's no stranger at taking a player on, going for a strike or a cross. In this case, looked for the back stick and inches away.
Right idea, as I said, not far away. Now Archibald down his flank. Bailey gets the last touch, you think? Yes. Tried to sell it, but the assistant referee was not being sold. Now Archibald goes a long throw into the box. Beveridge, a little tap on. Buswell sends it into orbit. Very animated Western technical area. Thought there's a foul there on the edge of the 18-yard box. Eisenhower thought about winding up there, changed his mind and plays it across. Eisenhower goes long, Archibald heads it back. Brought down, Archibald feeds it in now. Buswell, Farling. Feeds it forward, Hatfield on the turn. Little 1-2. Beveridge wide if you can find him. Defence is restructured. Archibald feeds it into the box, and that will trickle unthreateningly through to the keeper.
Again, nice positive play there from Weston. Short areas, tight areas, in fact. And they're happy to just play. It's a really nice brand of football. They've been playing all season, and Dom Archibald, ground just given way, unfortunately, there.
Undoubtedly, as it appears in this early part of the second half, that Western are getting a little bit of momentum and a slight upper hand. Still creating chances, but Chris Oricic will go to his bench momentarily. Bring some changes on to try and spark some life into this. It is the battle that both these teams face, having played midweek interstate. As we said, Western going down to Heidelberg United in Melbourne. Well, Cookshill had a 3-2 win.
Again, we've talked about how important form is at this time of the year, Chris, and we know the quality that both sides pose, but I have no doubt Western Bears will want to get back in the winner's circle and build some sort of momentum as we get closer to finals football.
Certainly well. Speaking of chances, here's a chance for Cooks Hill, though. Building momentum. Corner, what can they create here? Looks like it'll be Waddell that'll take the corner. Almost 10 minutes gone of this second half. Waddell and Wilson conspiring at the corner. Wilson takes over. Waddell peels off. Hughes, the tallest of timber. Ocko at the front post if they can find him, but they'll just find the target that is Evans, who heads it away strongly. All does well. Hatfield to keep it in. Beats Bailey as well. Lays it off for Farling. Evans swings it wide. And will step over and the ball falls for Iwasaki, streaming down the right wing. Beveridge is in the box. They go to Buswell. A little tap on. Well broken up by Declan Hughes and counter-attack straight away. Wilson looking for Ocko. Kamara, though, continues to work back. Evans. Nice little footwork in close quarters. Beats Clissold. Feeds it forward. It's a misdirected pass. I feel like fatigue is just battling with execution a little bit at the moment for both these sides. Hilton drives it long. Looking for Waddell. Hurley over the back. Roebuck takes it back into his 18-yard area. Archibald feeds it in. Boswell goes forward. Beveridge switches it out to Archibald again. That's Dom Archibald. Farling's there helping out. Back to Dom Archibald. Can he cross it in? He can, but not find a target. Declan Hughes sends it long. Looking for Ocko. Hurley breaks it up. Wilson's there against Evans. Ball stays in. Hughes appeals for it, but clearly inside the line still. Good portion of the ball. Hurley just takes a moment to recompose. Iwasaki now. Swing it to the right. Cuts back against it. Ocko pressing. Two fatigued sides. They're certainly going at a pretty frenetic pace at the moment, Buttes.
Yeah, the second half has continued as the first. It's definitely moving at a sweet space at the moment. So two Archibalds link up again on this left side.
Plays it off the legs. Waddell does well to keep it infield. Bailey drives forward.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how both coaches, play their substitutions as we grow deeper into this second half. Got a couple being prepared at the moment now for Cooks Hill.
I don't know, you've had as many as 3 changes coming on here, so Chris Zoricic is going to try and really spark this to life, and one of the men is one of the goal scorers from that win, which is Josh Benson. They haven't really had a lot at the top today. So it might be that despite the spark and pace that Ocko's provided, he might be the man to make way, you would think. We'll see what that comes of. Evans is just bouncing through traffic despite there being 4 Cookers around him. Now Waddell driving forward, manages to hold on to it, lays it off for Liam Wilson, who's nearly done the splits, and that wouldn't have tickled.
No, not at all. A little dance move there from Liam Wilson.
Get ready for the
a little bit unfortunate.
Dance floor at Argyle House, maybe you think?
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, unfortunate.
I nearly called it something else and I would really showed my age. I'll tell you what, these subs have been waiting for a while because this ball has been in play for what feels like an inordinate amount of time, but it's probably only been 3 minutes. Just been continuous end-to-end football.
That it has been.
Testing the lung capacity. Hatfield takes a strike. Eisenhower parries it over the crossbar. That looked like it came from almost nothing, and bang, Chris Hatfield pulled the trigger. Here comes those changes. And it is 3 players for Cooks Hill. It's going to be Wilson making way. He'll be replaced by Kai Bradley. Hilton will make way for Alex Gillespie. And I'm not quite sure who those numbers are, but we'll work that out in a second. I'm guessing it's Benson for Ocko. It is. It didn't match up quite with the fourth officials board, but that's okay. Western's players are straight at the white.
Wicked ball in there.
Certainly is. Farling now with another chance to deliver it in again. That's a dangerous ball. Headed over the crossbar. They're getting close, Western. They're knocking on the door.
That is, and that's a wicked ball from Burke. First one and second one as well. He's got that sweet right foot on him, and we spoke about this a little bit earlier as well, the attacking prowess on the set pieces that Western Bears have. Plenty of tall timber, plenty of guys that can win an aerial duel. And they do pose a massive threat on those set pieces.
I just want to give another at the Burke Farling. He's the only bloke I know in northern New South Wales that tucks his shirt in. It sums up a lot about Burke, I think, in his game. Neat, tidy, and attention to detail.
Yeah, no, I agree. You love to see it. It doesn't happen all too often.
Beautiful ball through for Hatfield here. He's one-on-one with the keeper. Parried away. Daniel Eisenhower down on his knees manages to find the save, and Hatfield knows that is a chance gone begging.
Yeah, wow. Again, end-to-end football as it has been all game thus far, and they just slipped it through to Hatfield, and he's been such a threat this year for Western Bears and nearly cracked this game wide open. If it wasn't for that man, Eisen, who just stood up to the challenge, up to the test.
Here's that right boot to look for from Farling on the corner. Unsurprisingly, Buswell pushing up. That's where he goes. Buswell with a little back heel. Somehow Bailey saved that off the post. Looked like it ran up his body, and he found it away. Kamara tracking back under pressure from Waddell. And strong work from Farling. Chips it over, looking for Kamara. Kamara versus Bailey here. And as the ball goes across, Kamara went to rush it, and Farling just urged him to cool the jets and take a breath.
Yeah, two big chances for Western, and they're tightening the screws now.
Spills out nicely for Farling. He goes over the top looking for Hatfield. Luck was a few steps slow to react. He's got Archbold with him. He drives it into legs, and then it's prodded away. Benson lofts it on, looking for Waddell. Hurley's there. Lofts it again, and fourth official with safe hands. Very animated Chris Zoricic, providing some feedbacks to his troops. Bailey's going to take the throw here, looking for options. He's going to go long and look for player up front, but that finds the head instead of Kamara. Brought the ground. Turned over Waddell. He's got Benson forward, but Archbold just does well. Harangues him and takes it away. Now Kamara. Nice touch by Buswell, but just overcooks it a touch, and it's out of play and in for a throw. Bailey takes it quickly. Waddell. He's been busy today. Kamara, like a second skin on him there in defence. Waddell now. Down the line, does well. Bailey keeps it infield. That's beautiful play from Cooks Hill, and Roebuck off his line takes it with two hands. I'll tell you what, the heart rates of fans must be absolutely through the roof at the moment. I can only imagine what the coaches are feeling.
Yeah, it's been really exciting, and positive play from Jai Bailey and Zach Waddell. Wow, he's been involved in this game.
Hurley working hard. Sorry, mate. Chris Hurley absolutely steaming down and then overcooked the pass. I thought he was going to try and, FIFA style, go to length himself, just slice through the defence.
He's definitely getting more vocal on both benches.
A very animated cue. We're talking about him being sort of pensive and thoughtful before. He's barking orders now. And you can really, we saw it in the plate finals where you really see as these games sit in the balance late in the game. Appeals from Cooks Hill for a foul. Both sides just baying and begging at the four officials here today, hoping for getting a result their way. Clisson brings it down. Lofts it forward looking for Benson, but the ever-reliable Hurley is there. Farling now, a little heavy with his touch. Clements prods it wide for Bailey. Archbold tracking him. Bailey didn't get that anywhere near where he's targeting.
Things are heating up here, Chris.
Certainly are. Burke Farling's just looking for someone to throw it. He knows it's not going to be him. He's found someone at last. We're going to end up in the same spot anyway. Extra delay was all for not a lot. Archbold throw in for Archbold. Benson tried to trap it. Iwasaki watching it. Roebuck will play it out to Hurley. Well, he drives it down the wing. Bailey will watch this trickle across, and it goes out over the sideline. That's a better result if you're a Western fan.
Yeah, definitely better territory, and again, it's that classic play. Chris Earls on the left foot trying to find Dom Archbold. I think it was just too projected, too straight on this occasion. But nonetheless, Jai Bailey's going to try and wind up now and get his side out with a big throw-in by the looks of it.
Running battle here between Q Gallions and the fourth official at the moment, and I can, you think Q with his experience would know who's going to win that battle. And yet to see a coach out-negotiate an official, especially the fourth official, who's probably the only one whose heart rate is sitting under 100 at the moment, with the amount of distance the others are carrying. All of a sudden, a parried chance there. Was cleared over the goals by Cooks Hill, and Cooks Hill are creating chances, Butts, but you feel like Western are just turning up the temperature a notch here and yet to go to their bench.
Yeah, definitely. And it come from that man, Cooper Buswell, also another key player for their side, Western Bears, and he's just slipped that ball through to Blake Archbold. And again, another corner.
Farling, he's right around on an angle here. He's going to really try and rip this and curl it back. That's exactly what he does, but it's headed away at the front post by Luck. And I'm just thinking with those changes as we see Farling drive it in again and Luck heads it away across the sideline. Western have got a little bit more room to breathe, as you said, with not needing the points. They drive this into the box. Headed away. Last touch was off Dobson, so it will be a corner. Yeah, as I was saying, not needing the points, but also the future games probably don't, in the league, don't have as much for them because they're barring absolutely something amazing. They're going to finish third, right? We've talked about this. So they can absolutely blow the legs out of these guys, and then when they're midweek catch-up games, that's when they can roll out their reserve grade and other players. So there's a little bit of an advantage if you're Western and Q Gallions at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. And although you see every game as a game to win, I think today, well, especially with silverware also, they're going to put all their effort into it today.
Certainly are. Oh, they mix it up here. Evans chips it into the back post. Beveridge is there. Eisenhower did well to read that. I don't mind that, mixing it up a little bit there, the Bears. Cooks Hill looking like they're getting ready for some more changes. Western look to be preparing some. They're going to start coming thick and fast here as we head deep into this second half. Northern New South Wales Cup final, the State Cup final. All locked up at 0-0 deep into this game so far. Almost 70 minutes gone. The pressure's mounting. A reminder, if it finishes locked at full time at the end of regulation time, we go straight to penalties, Butts. And of course, Western, no stranger to penalties, as we touched on before. They progressed through 2 of their Australia Cup matches on penalties, including that final qualifier for the round of 32 against Edgeworth. Beveridge tries to wind up and take a shot, but he's off balance and it's blocked. Parry's Luck to ground. Play on, says the referee. Kamara gets the pass away. Fed forward, a little too heavy for Hatfield, and they watchfully see it go across the byline. And it'll be Cooks Hill to go to their bench again here. Daniel Yaxley. Come on, Joel Clissold will come off. Looks like Evans or Evans will be replaced by Ryan Blackburn. Good shift from Cooper Evans.
See how those boys inject themselves into this game now. You'd have to say, Chris, that Western have just been suffocating Cooks a little bit. Cooks playing a bit more transition football now.
Waddell takes a strike, Roebuck, and yeah, certainly agree with that. Just having a look at the change in structure. They've pushed Musa Kamara into a midfield pairing there. So it looks like he and Farling are both going to play as dual centre mids, and then Buswell pushing forward as a centre attacking mid. Not a huge change, but as opposed to that sweeper structure, they play a little bit of a lopsided structure often with Farling and Evans. Whereas I think they're going to pair he and Kamara together to try and work this out.
New substitute Blackburn with his first touches at the moment wide.
There's it back for Hatfield there, and looked solid in his first touch, Blackburn. Now Farling. Nice close control, feeds it around again to Blackburn. Pops it down the line. Nice return for Farling. He'll try and cross it in off the right. Dobson there again. Kamara feeds it forward, but it's broken up. Good work from Musa Kamara, tracking back on the second effort there. Archbold comes away with it, feeds it out. Farling, who's slotted out wide for a moment. Crossed it into the box. Hatfield was there waiting, but it was broken up again. Alex Gillespie doing the work, and they feed it forward now, and they're certainly not going to die wondering. Waddell goes to take it away, but Blackburn almost inadvertently breaks it up with what looked like his chin in the end. Kamara on the ball. Archibald already doing the work to get down the flank. Hurley pushing up high. Playing a very high line now going forward with their defensive line. Western. Blake Archibald chips it into the box. Buswell's there. Can he find someone? Feeds it in, but it's parried straight out by a strong Cooks Hill defence.
Yeah, they've been solid, Cooks. There has been a couple of cracks this half that Western have exploited, but nothing direct, really.
No. Nice intercept there. And clear it long. Looking for Benson. Hurley happy to duck under it and then just play it back for Roebuck. Benson will go after him, but Roebuck all the time in the world. Iwasaki now. Blackburn on the run. Gets down the line. He's going to take on Luck, but Luck's just going to parry it across the line. Played it off Blackburn. That's some smart football from Zake Luck. Sometimes it's just having that extra moment of composure in those rushed moments to get the outcome that you need. Just releases a bit of pressure.
Benson with some good work there, releasing Waddell, and he's in some good space out the left.
Just scuffs it off the outside of the right shin, doesn't he? The uneven bounce here, undoing him. I'm coming back. I wasn't sure what that was for. We're going all the way back for offside against Western on that advancing play. Gillespie. Awkward bounce again, undoing Cooks Hill there. That just popped up over the boot of Daniel Yaxley.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate here on the near side.
It's two in about 60 seconds for them where the bounce has just undone them, but as many times it undoes you, just as many it falls in your favour. Archibald looking for the throw. Gets it in behind for Beveridge, who comes away from Hughes. Feeds it out Hatfield. Tries to play it on for Blackburn, but undercooks it. Now all of a sudden Waddell, he's been one of their best today for mine. He's been really busy. Just gets a little nudge from behind. A little cynical. The referee will judge that just to be a foul.
Yeah, that he has, Chris. He's been very busy. A lot of mileage under his legs for sure today. A live wire up front for Cooks Hill, and I'd like to see him combine a little bit more with that goal scorer from the Oz Cup. You've got the double, Josh Benson. He's got a lot to offer as well if he gets in that shooting range.
Certainly does. Speaking of the Australian Cup, those games will continue this weekend and through to Wednesday, where the draw for the round of 16 will happen. As Archibald fights here with Yaxley, and that's been Cooks Hill. Next Wednesday night, I'll know who and when. Well, I know who their next opponent is, and then the draw will be finalised for when that game is, but to be played a couple of weeks later. I think around the same time as the first week of NPL finals, so that'll be interesting to see what that means for their workload, should they make finals. Well broken up there, good defence. Turned into attack quickly by Buswell. A little bit of a slip there from the defence of Cooks Hill, and then a slip for Buswell as well. He looked like he got sniped in the hamstring. End-to-end football at a frenetic pace. I'm not sure how the fuel gauges are going for these 22 men out there. It's tiring just watching it, Matt Butner, as Kamara and Yaxley go shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, it's been a good contest, and like you said, where's the fuel gauge at for all of these players at the moment? It's been a heavy load, and it's been heavy on the body as well. You know, the pitch looks quite heavy underfoot, so as we do approach deeper into this half.
So we're 75 minutes in, just playing 75 minutes of frenetic ball-in-play football. There's been a lot of ball-in-play in this game. It's tiring itself, but when you allow the fact that they've had a return flight each to Adelaide and Melbourne respectively during the week. They played last weekend. They played Wednesday night. It's impressive that these guys are still running. But to be doing so at this level and still performing and still playing some exciting football to watch, it's just going to be, though, these next 15 minutes are going to be so crucial, because It's only going to take one misstep, one slip, one missed touch. And all of a sudden you can find yourself on the back foot. And here goes that man you touched on. He scored 2 goals, Benson. I'm not sure that's the most technical or textbook of tackles there from Chris Hurley. He looked like he knelt down and used the underside of his feet to break the play up. But at this point, I'm sure Q Yellians is happy with whatever works. Chris Hatfield puts on the afterburners to get outside Zake Luck here. He's only got one man in the box. He's got Archibald at the top of the 18-yard box. Benson cuts in now. Takes a strike, and Eisenhower, Beveridge, exasperated, throws his hands in the air. Felt he was unmarked at the back post. He had Gillespie on his 6, but no one blocking him, just getting a shot away at least.
Yeah, a couple of hands on hips, hands on heads as we get that little rest in play, but it really has been end-to-end now, Chris. It's making a really exciting last 15 minutes or so here.
It certainly is. It's coming down to the last moments of it, that's for sure. Iwasaki trying to feed it through to Beveridge and almost beat everyone, but picked off by the last line of defence in Luck. Now Waddell feeds it down the line. Bradley's there. Returns it to Waddell. Cuts across. He's going to try and take a strike. Just wide. I think for a split second there, Gerald Roebuck had a nervous look at that ball because he was stranded a little closer to the right post, and I think he thought that might have been a little tighter than it was.
Yeah, he's been good again, Zach Waddell. It feels like every time the black and white have got the ball, you know, everything's going through him at the moment. He's been playing far. He's also been coming near.
Strong defence there from Yaxley, but only sends it as far as Kamara. Back to Iwasaki. As you see, the sun setting in the background. Light just dipping a little. Beautiful afternoon here at Spears Point. A fitting occasion and fitting afternoon for Cup final football. Overcooked touch there. Burke Farling with a fairly aggressive tackle. Probably lucky it didn't make any contact. It's down the line. Again, Yaxley beaten by the bounce. Shot taken there. Blackburn had a wind up. Too many defenders in the way. Now they chip it forward for Benson.
Plenty of green shirts making their way back. Benno all on his own. He's done well there to win a corner for his side, though. Musa Kamara standing up to the test, and again, it's been a little bit animated here on the sidelines.
Yeah, I think Chris Orich taking real umbrage with that tackle from Farling, but I'm not quite sure what the referee's to do when nothing was actually disrupted. He didn't make any contact with anyone. A caution on the runs is probably about the best you're going to get.
Zach Waddell on the right foot to deliver.
Certainly an opportunity for Cooks Hill. Lofts in. Off the back of the defender. Now Hughes is just going to watch it across for a throw in. Pop it down and Yaxley going to come through for it. Bailey pushing up. Rotating their numbers, working it out. And you can see a few of these Western players now starting just to show some signs of fatigue. I wonder if Q Yellians will be tempted to go to his bench again. Bailey working over against Farling, feeds it in. Archbold, it's a hip and shoulder and play on, says the referee. It's nice and consistent, that's for sure. And as soon as I say that, we're going to see a couple of changes come here for Western as we head into the dying stages of this game. So just having a look at Blake Archbold, and Beveridge coming off, and the players going on will be Paul Sakawi and Kalen Law. Sorry, Aaron Niakuru, not Sakawi. Notice that. Just read the number on the board there. Now a chance here. Waddell, can he take the strike? Well blocked. Roebuck, he did a preemptive dive. We've got Archbold down here, and Tom Archbold clutching his knee, hoping nothing too serious there. Reasonably innocuous. He's clearly in some discomfort. We're going to need a change here. This will be the last of the rotations for Western.
Doesn't look all too good, unfortunately, for Dom Archbold there, the right knee.
We touched on it before. Health of squad can be such a key thing as these runs home. So hope it's nothing too serious. It's just a knock.
It doesn't look like he's weight bearing at all, unfortunately, and that just forces a change for the Western Bears. It looks like Dylan Burston is immediately into the action now.
It's a good player to have coming off your bench to be able to rely on, isn't it, at this point? A forced change. They're blessed with quite some depth, the Western squad.
That they are. It just gives both sides an opportunity just to get a quick drink, a quick breath in.
Recompose for the run home.
Yeah, in what's been a really high-intense game thus far, Chris. Well, you'd have to say fatigue is knocking on the door.
Certainly is. Time ticking down. We're inside the final 10 here of regulation time. Then we'll be at the officials' discretion. He actually drives it forward. Hurley. Bradley gets a win. Benson trying to cut in behind, but Iwasaki up to reading that line. Bradley putting pressure on Kamara. He goes back to Roebuck. Benson does well getting forward there. Roebuck just not quite as alert as he might have needed to be, but good fortune does fall his way. Will be a goal kick.
Chris Orchich just sharing his praises to Benson there as well. He wants his number 9 to work hard off the bench.
Early driving forward. Lulls Bailey into setting his heels and then takes him outside. Burston feeds it into the box. Gillespie sends it down the line. Down in the attacking half will be Burston with the throw. Boswell prods it forward, looking for Hatfield. Now Boswell prods it into the box, headed down. Hatfield sniffing about. That sun does poke its way through and really piercing across the field now. Kamara. Bradley bounces off a couple, comes away with it, lofts it forward, looking for Bailey. Burston tracking back. Pops it inside the box, ends up on the deck. Nyankuru. Fed forward. Kamara there. Kamara and Bradley tied together almost in a knot in the end. And Waddell, there's that man again. Taking on Burke Farling, getting to the outside. Farling throws himself prone in front of him and takes the ball away. He's back to his feet and on the ball now is Burke Farling. Swings it wide for Burston. Burston tracking down the left. Lays it back to Farling. Farling's got Blackburn down the other side and he bisects all the runners in the end and can't find a target. Caitlin Law was racing forward, as was Boswell.
Yeah, just a misstep there. Poor execution from Farling, unfortunately, and the instruction from the bench is use of the width. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of the width on this field, and we know Western Bears love to exploit those wide areas, so it has proved to be a little bit difficult for them today. And Zach Waddell, again, every time Cooksville are on the ball in that front third, it's that man.
Caitlin Law comes away with it, the youngster, prods it forward. Sits for Boswell. He chips it over the top looking for the pace of Chris Hatfield. Hatfield gets a step on luck. Plays it back. Boswell's there again. Takes a strike. Falls for Hatfield. He pulls the trigger and that's almost landed in Lake Macquarie. Hugh Allen's getting in touch in. Still got it. Former A-Leaguer. Picked out his target there in Eisenhower. Wanted to keep things moving. Time ticking down. A reminder, if we get to the end of regulation time all tied up, it will be a share of the points for the round 14 fixture and we'll be going to penalties to decide the cup. Benson taking on Hurley, and Hurley tangled up, takes him to ground.
Yeah, good contest there. Both in good nature there, and Chris Hurl's just stripping down Benson in good field position, and Cooksville bench loved that one. Yellow card for Chris Hurls, and in striking range here to put in a good ball.
Bradley, just over 4 minutes of regulation time remaining. Certainly on our clock.
Bradley to deliver on the right foot. See what he can conjure.
Brings it into the back post, headed over, just over the crossbar. That was inches away from the target. Cooksville were about to enter into celebrations. They thought it beat Roebuck. It did, but it also beat the crossbar.
Yeah, a couple of boys on the bench just jumping up there. I thought that was in myself as well, Chris. Massive chance.
I was waiting for that ripple of the net. It's so hard to tell sometimes. In those tight quarters, Farling slices it off the outside of the right. Luck and Blackburn come shoulder to shoulder. Waddell up against Iwasaki. Waddell just overcooked the grab a little bit. The referee happy to let a little bit go both ways, but just kept holding the jersey as Iwasaki tried to break free.
And the crowd getting involved as well now as we're inching close to that 90th minute, and it looks like we're going into penalties if that's the case, if it stays as is.
Football's a funny game, Butch, you know that. Plenty of time for a few things yet. We head towards stoppage time. Now, is this one shooting range, Butch?
Yeah, I'd back him.
Yeah. You take a crack from here. Farling, selfless, lofts it into the box. Oh, players tangled up. Jersey's caught. Shots fired. No one really threatening the goals, though. They play forward. Benson racing forward. He's got Bradley inside. He beats Burston back on the inner angle. Wants to switch it across. Missed target for Waddell, and who's there? Of course, he is Burke Farling. Prods it forward. Buswell. Hatfield. He's got Nyankuru pushing forward. A substitute looking for the ball. Chipped up for Buswell. Keeps it in. Headed across from the Cooksville defence. Yaxley's there. They appealed for offside. Deflected. Bailey. Burston parries it across the sideline. No one's taking their foot off the accelerator late in this one, Matt Butner.
Not at all. It's been an enthusiastic performance from both clubs, and there's no signs of slowing down.
Yaxley just meandering down the sideline. Might have pinched a couple of metres, you'd think. Burston gets a header for it. Kai Bradley goes aerial and lofts himself up. Gillespie gets ahead to it. Gillespie in his challenge. Hatfield was offside. Very close to the expiration of the 90. Eisenhower chews up a few more seconds. Looks bound for penalties. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes of stoppage time we have added once we get there. Just over 2 minutes of regulation time remaining. Go wide to Blackburn. He's got Law down the line. Decides better of it. Pokes it out for Hatfield. Just a touch overcooked. It was the right idea, Butts.
Yeah, definitely. The substitute nearly just slipped in Hatfield, and that's the man you want on the ball in that type of area. Was not far off at all.
Eisenhower drives it long with the clearance. Benson gets ahead.
Benson a little bit of a lone soldier up there at the moment, but it is that kind of transition football I mentioned earlier that Cooksville have started to adopt late in the second half, just as fatigue started to creep in.
See a missed pass there from Iwasaki. He gets the deflection back to himself. Farling turns on the accelerator. Bradley straight onto him. Kamara's going to meander forward and wander. Burston in space out here if Hurley can find him. Goes to Kamara again. There's Kamara on an aggressive attacking turn. Feeds it infield. There's Law. Buswell looking for Hatfield again. They keep looking for that man. And Bailey now racing away down the right. Burston in pursuit. Bailey cuts towards goal. Burston gets through on him. Roebuck parries it. Second chance. Benson blocked again. Iwasaki was there.
Wow.
And it's going to be a corner. Western defence keeps turning up. You feel Cooks Hill all of a sudden, it was almost certain they were going to pull something out there. What a run from Bailey down the right. But they just couldn't quite find it. But there's still time. And Waddell, and his strong right boot, once he stretches his calves out, of course, will take the corner.
It's probably the first time Roebuck's really been tested as well with that left foot from Jai Bailey. And it's resulted in a corner, and it's Zach Waddell to deliver.
Waddell drops it in short. Hurley's there. Clements, will he pull the trigger? Yes, he does, but it's blocked by Hurley, surging forward. Now they push it out to the right. Hughes is there. The call of no foul. What a ball back in for Yaxley. Across the face, and it's missed. Kalen Law racing now. Chips it forward. Hatfield, the flag stays down, but it's going to be too heavy. Regulation time ticks down. The fourth official set to tell us how long there will be of added time. And the anticipation builds. 3 minutes of additional time will be played. If we can't find a goal in that 3 minutes, we will head to penalties. Bailey, Farling, misstep. Bradley, Farling, clatters in.
Again, Cooks Hill with a good opportunity now from a set piece. Farling just a little misstep there and tried to resurrect his error, resulting in a free kick. It's going to be a late sub here for Cooks Hill.
Certainly is. You wonder if this is an attacking move now or a move towards a possible penalty shootout. Dan Clements is going to come off. Lucas Miller goes on. A little bit of height, maybe even just for the set piece here. Bradley puts it in. Burson. Hurley goes to ground. A little bit of contact. The referee not hedging his bets there. Roebuck's going to have to sprint across and get this ball as time ticks down. You feel penalties would almost be fitting here. Buttes, these two sides have absolutely battled. There's neither one of them would have any real argument for having a strong case to have the upper hand. Evenly split the honours so far, and you'd feel heartbroken if someone pulled something out magically here almost. Farling, Buswell, Nyankuru, Buswell again, just controlling space, draws two defenders, gets away Nyankuru, goes wide to Farling. Farling tries to pull the trigger, plays it around to Nyankuru, pulls it up inside the byline, and then it's just prodded across from Hughes. A corner here late for Western.
Things are ramping up now, Chris.
Be interesting to see. I was going to say how many numbers they send forward here. Nyankuru was talking to Farling about whether he should take it. They've held three players out. Kamara, Blackburn, and Iwasaki all out of the box. Law on the edge of the box. Kamara sneaks up now. Kayla Law at the front. Buswell, the obvious target. Hatfield haranguing and closing the space on Eisenhower. And the referee's going to come back and have a chat to them. He was trying to sell that Hatfield by reversing into the Cooks Hill defender who was against the keeper, and then the Cooks Hill defender disappeared. And if you make contact with the keeper here, he's going to very quickly find anything that they do achieve scrubbed off. Farling curls it in dangerously. The header brought down. We'll go again for another corner as time ticks down.
Come on, Buzz. Come on, Els, minor.
Plenty of tall timber, an aerial threat for Western Bears. And just watch this near post run from Buswell. It's been a little feature of this game thus far.
Early creeping around the back post could be dangerous too. Headed away again. Will it be another corner? Yes, it will. And trifecta of corners late in this game. Farling's getting plenty of practice at curling them in off his lethal right. Chris Zoricic trying to help the referee out with his timekeeping. How thoughtful. Farling curls it in again, short. Buswell plays it into legs. Farling's going to have another chance to cross this here. Lofts it in towards the back post. Iwasaki was sneaking about. Waddell's going to loft this deep and wide. Slices off, and at the end of regulation time, nothing can split these two sides. They're battered, they're bruised. They've gone toe-to-toe for 90 minutes. But it's had everything. Fatigue, moments, and now it's going to have pressure from the penalty spot, Buttes.
Yeah, well, if you're the viewer, if you're the neutral, buckle in, because we are heading into penalty shootout. It's been a great game thus far, and I'd have to agree with what you said earlier. It would have been really hard to give the points and the trophy to someone within those 95 minutes or so. It was just such an evenly poised game. Not anything clinical from either side, but there was chances spoiled. And this will be exciting, Chris.
Certainly will be. One thing we know is they'll both get a competition point. Round 14 will be classed as a draw after 90 minutes. And I tell you what, this is up there with some of the best games that I've had the pleasure of calling this year. It's been enthralling. Someone will determine the cup. A few light-hearted mentions from each team. Different people walking off just saying we could just share the cup, but it will be determined. Everyone out on their feet, though. It's that game of 90 minutes, so much ball in play, as I touched on, Butte, so much action end-to-end. When you consider what these teams have been through in recent weeks in terms of just catch-up games and everything else that they've had, and they've got more to come, the fact they've been able to deliver such a high-quality, high-intensity, full-duration game is a credit to both sides.
Yeah, I'd have to say I agree, Chris. It's been a really good standard of game, to be honest. You know, both sides putting out a really good display, defensively very disciplined, and sending a lot of boys forward as well in their transition moments. And, you know, both had amazing chances but just couldn't execute.
Yeah, it was hard. There was a few that got close, especially late. It seemed like it was creeping closer and closer, and it was almost going to be a result.
Who were your key performers within that 95 minutes or so, Chris, from either side?
Such a list, isn't there? I don't think there's anyone you could, not that we would, but there's no one that you could sit there and say that they had a poor performance. It was all around really strong performances. You know, and some of the ones in those games that are like that 90 minutes of end-to-end football, it's sometimes not about the brilliance, it's about the work. And of course, Burke Farling's always strong. Chris Hurley turned up at the back a number of times, and equally at the other end, you know, the defence for Cooks Hill, the amount of times that they had to turn up and scramble and shut things down. Iwasaki was really strong as well, wasn't he? There was that parried attempt in the second shot that was coming from Bradley, I think it was, and he got there and closed it down from nowhere. In terms of Cooks Hill, we talked about Zach Waddell. He probably, if we had the trackers on everyone, I would be happy to take bets that if he didn't finish first, he was finishing in the top 3 for metres covered.
Yeah, I agree. Jai Bailey as well, just to mention. I think those two young boys today have done exceptional. And, yeah, you put a GPS on them, they would have had massive numbers for the minutes they played today. And, you know, Benno offered something off the bench as well.
Speaking off the bench, he didn't play huge minutes, but just the way he bounced around and was injecting energy when he came on for Western was young Caelan Law. I thought he looked really strong, and there may be a chance for the youngster here. It'll be interesting to see. Now tell me, if you're a captain and you go out there and you've got the decision, are you going first with penalties or are you going second?
Yeah, I think the approach, if you're a captain, for me, would be to kick first. I mean, you back yourself, you have confidence in your strikers, especially for a team like Western who do have such good players up front. But again, penalty shootout, it poses such a different threat, right? You can be the best striker in the world, but can you control your nerves?
And equally, keeper-wise, different scenario, saving penalties. We see the two keepers wishing each other the best of luck, but probably not too much. Interestingly, Western, as I said, they've been in penalty shootouts already this year, but it was George Stevens between the posts for them. Gerald Roebuck's back now, and he's going to have to try and emulate his compatriot to lift them to silverware. Meanwhile, for Daniel Eisenhower, he could be here and be the key in delivering the biggest piece of silverware in Cooks Hill history.
Well, yeah, that's a really exciting promise that could happen. He's got a great test right now up against Hatfield, who's been an absolute weapon for Western this year.
Certainly has. He certainly knows in general play how to find the back of the net, but equally he's lethal from the penalty spot. Eisenhower composing himself, prepping himself. He's on the balls of his feet. He's set. Chris Hatfield addresses the ball with his right boot, pushes it to the left, beats a diving Eisenhower, and Western draw first blood. And I tell you what, Chris Hatfield looks as much relieved as anything else.
Yeah, positive strike, and well, you'd have to say 2 hands on the ball there from the keeper. And yeah, I agree. Hatfield, a little smirk on his face after he got that one.
I think you might have actually had a mention to Eisenhower to basically say, yeah, you read me, but relieved that he managed to get there. Here we go, Kai Bradley. Up first, off the bench. Came in the second half. He's thrown himself around, as you can see from the mud on the jersey. He's up against Roebuck. A little shuffle step, goes past him, and it's the same spot, diving. The right way is Roebuck, but he can't get there, and Bradley levels it up at 1-1. Roebuck looks a little dejected, but that was a great strike. Just a little above the bottom corner. Not many keepers are stopping that one. And now it is that man, Mr. Organised, Mr. Energy, Burke Farling, the American import, that will come up to the spot for a second penalty shot for the Bears. As I said, so much on the line. Western looking to add some silverware to their cabinet at Rockwell Automation Park. Cooks Hill looking for the biggest moment yet in their history. They obviously still have that round of 16 to come and could go on a run in the cup. Farling drives it left, mid-height. Again, Eisenhower picks right, but can't pick it out. And Western lead 2-1. They've been immaculately taking penalties the first three. And now the man who knows how to take a penalty, we saw him score 2 goals in the Australia Cup. Josh Benson comes to the spot. One being a penalty, if I'm correct. You are. He doesn't have to go back too far in his memory to find a bit of confidence and relevance. I wonder if Gerald Roebuck watched that. I wonder if he's thinking, does he go the same way? There's so much that can go into this. Or is Roebuck just trying to read him? Benson comes in, a little shuffle step as well. Props and pops it to the right. Roebuck had already gone to the left. He went early, and Benson, calm and composed, just like on Wednesday night, puts another one into the back of the net, and we're tied at 2-2. Now it will be the substitute in Burston. Dylan Burston coming forward to take the third penalty for Western. I always like to think, who is the pressure on here? Is it the striker or is it the keeper? You'd have to say it's the striker, right? Surely. The odds are in the striker's favour normally. More often than not, they go in. Burston, he comes in. Strides in, hits it with his right, goes deep to the left, down low, and again, Eisenhower's 3 from 3 on picking the right direction, just hasn't been able to reach them yet. Yeah, a little shake of the head there. He knows he's getting close, but just not close enough. The way it's going at the moment, he might only need to stop one. They lead 3-2 now, Western, and now Zach Clark will come up against Roebuck. Interestingly, in the penalty shootout in the Australia Cup qualifiers, George Stevens saved 3 penalties. Twice this year in big games have we seen that happen. Ben Kennedy did the same in the Charity Shield at the start of the year. None saved yet. Luck up against Roebuck. He goes to high right, sneaks it in just to the left of the postage stamp. That's a well-taken penalty from Luck, and look at him. He struts back to his teammates. Very happy with that, but knowing the job's far from done. It's 3-3. I'm wondering if he's confident there or if he's just a little relieved that didn't skip over the crossbar, because he really put some pepper on that. Well, yeah, I mean, the Cooks Hill boys on the bench love that one. I wonder if he told them where he was going to shoot before the game or before the penalty shootout, but it was some finish regardless. I always wonder that as we see Musa Kamara come up, as to, is it a pre-planned thing? Is it when you get there and you eyeball the goalkeeper as to which way you're going? Kamara now drives it, and there it is, Eisenhower. The first time he's needed to go left. Kamara didn't get as much heat on it as some of the others. It was well placed, but Eisenhower read it and parried it, and it's advantage Cooks Hill. 3-3. Bailey to take the advantage here. If you can nail this, they'll have one hand on the cup. Yet to miss the Cookers. Bailey comes in, dresses it right, goes there. Roebuck had it, but he overcooked the dive. And Bailey gives them the lead. Eisenhower knows that this is his moment in the sun. A save or a miss here will seal it for Cooks Hill. And cometh the hour, cometh the man. The captain steps forward, Chris Hurley, to keep his side in this one. If there's time for a captain to shine, this is it, Buttes.
Yes, it is. And Chris Hurls, again, what's the approach? What's the mentality coming up to this? He knows he needs to score this for his side to have any chance to continue in this penalty shootout.
Certainly does. It'll be the pressure back on Cooks Hill to seal it if he can get this one. Chris Hurley comes in, dresses it, fires it. Daniel Eisenhower back-to-back saves. Cooks Hill take it 4-3. And history makers again. Cooks Hill defy the odds to lift the State Cup. Battered and bruised, but absolutely brilliant. They've ridden the emotion and execution to a famous win. And Buttes, with everything they've been through over the last couple of weeks, how special is this moment for the squad and the club?
Well, yeah, it's massive for the club, right? And you mentioned the weight of that silverware. It's a club that hasn't had much of it at all, and this is massive for them. And, of course, just coming off the back of a win in the round of 32 as well. The Cooks Hill are running with confidence at the moment, and all the boys executing their dot shot as well. And that keeper, well, he stood up, didn't he? Eisenhuth, he was amazing. 2 saves to his left. And, yeah, massive congratulations to Cooks Hill.
Yeah, well done, Daniel Eisenhower. Well done to the penalty takers. Well done to Western as well. And a riveting, an edge of your seat, 90 minutes to watch. And, you know, penalty shootouts are always hard, Butte. You always feel almost some disappointment, some dejection for the team. But when we have cup finals, these sorts of things, you have to have a winner. And unfortunately for Western today, that wasn't to be them. But they sit third on the table. They're going to have more than likely 2 bites of the cherries when it comes to finals football. And they've got to run home now. The focus will all be on the cup, all be on the league. For Cooks Hill, they've done one. They've got some silverware, the biggest piece of silver in their club's history. But they know now the Australia Cup round of 16 and the run towards the finals still to come. Of course, make sure, speaking of the league, that you stay tuned to Northern New South Wales Football's YouTube channel. You can catch all of the men's and women's first and reserve grade NPL games on the run home through into the final series, including the final series, live and free. But for this afternoon, signing out. And congratulations to Cooks Hill, their biggest piece of silver in the club's history. On behalf of myself and Matt Butner, we're wishing you a very good evening.
I know, because a lot of the time you're there, so it's kind of like, if you just get that motion, you're like, oh, yeah, I feel like we're trying to get that little bit of rhythm.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for your attendance at the Men's State Cup final. My name is Liam Bentley. I'm joined by two of our directors today, Stephen Seddon and Dave Willoughby. Thank you so much. Thank you for the gentlemen for joining us today. Two fantastic teams who represented us both very well on the national stage during the week, and then backed it up today for a good cup final, which was pushed all the way through to penalties. We will start our presentation immediately, and we want to start with our match officials. It's the hardest job in football, so let's make a little bit of noise for our referees as they come up to collect their medals. Starting with fourth official, Josh Attard. Assistant ref, Sam Stewart and Flynn Cobb. And our man in the middle, Conor Markovich. Thank you once again to our match officials. Although they did incredibly well against one of the best teams in the country on Wednesday night and represented us very well. So I'd like to invite the captain of Western Vales, Chris Hurley, to come up and say a couple of words, and then we'll present the club with their runners-up medals.
Look, it's going to be a few weeks for all the boys, same as for our school, feeling it heavy today. But put on a massive performance Wednesday. Hopefully, all the crowd and the boys were proud of what we put out, and then backing up today. Just today wasn't our day. So now full attention onto the league. Focus on finishing up strong for the last few weeks, and then heading to finals, and hopefully get the job done there. And then congratulations to Cookers on making round 16 and the win today, and all the best with that. Cheers.
Thanks, mate. We'll get Stephen to give you a medal, and then we'll call up the remainder of your team, starting with Jerry Robert, Brock Beveridge, Mana Iwasaki, Dominic Archibald, Conor Evans, Chris Hatfield, Blake Archibald, Cooper Boswell, Buck Farley, Musa Kamara, Dylan Burston, Ryan Blackburn, Percy Shawali, Caelan Law, Ashton Blank, Jack Butler. And our team officials, Coach Hugh Yallens, Grant Cloughton, Nathan Morris, and Olivia Pickard. Aaron Curry, my apologies. Brock Beveridge. Alright, one more time for the Western Vales. That brings us to our State Cup winners, Cookshill United. Dan Clements, can I get to come and say a few words?
we get to see you get into finals. But well done with everything you're doing. You're ripping it. Now, over to my boys. What a week, fellas. What a week. We had a crisis meeting a few weeks back talking about relegation issues and what are we going to do. What a difference 7 days can make. The boys have really stepped up, doing unbelievably well, fighting for each other. To make the round 16 and then come here and do what you've done today, unbelievable. Let's get back to the cell and rip in. Thanks, boys.
All right, we'll call out the rest of the Kickers, starting ref, Daniel Eisenhower. Jai Bailey. Alex Hilton. Mitchell Dobson. Liam Wilson. Jamila Oko. Declan Hughes. Zachariah Waddell. Zeke Luck. Joe Clissold. Alex Gillespie. Josh Benson. Daniel Yaxley. Kai Bradley. Lucas Miller. And Patrick Innes. And our team officials from Cooks Hill, Coach Chris Sausage, Gregory Smith and Ashley Balcom. Ladies and gentlemen, you may